Hi guys, sorry I'm not with you today. We're going to start this rotation by doing a little bit of a drawing warm-up. So you can either use your iPad or your regular sketchbook that I gave you last time I came into the art room. So pencil and paper or your iPad. So today what we're going to focus on, and all this week, is working on creating a special shape. Actually, it's not a shape. In art, it's 3D, so it's something we call a form. And this is the form of what we are going to try to create today on our papers. So hopefully you know the name of this. Well, yes, I know it's Lysol, but this shape is a cylinder. So when you look at a cylinder, on the bottom of the cylinder we have this shape here, which you know, which is a circle, and then there's also a circle on the top if it was just a normal cylinder. And then another characteristic of a cylinder is that it is has no edges or points, so it's able to roll. So today our goal is going to be to draw this shape onto our paper. And remember how I talked about that circle? That's going to be important. So get ready to draw with me on your sketchbook or on your iPad in Sketches Pro. All right, friends, here I am in Sketches Pro. Remember, you can be in your regular sketchbook as well. We're going to start taking some notes together. So I want you to copy what I am writing on the screen. So remember, we're focusing on creating this shape today. So I want you to write its name. We are making a cylinder. This is going to be important this week, and you'll see why in a little bit. So the first thing I want you to do in your sketchbook is to draw the shape that is normally at the bottom of a cylinder and the top. And we just talked about that it's this shape. Draw that. I know you can do it. That shape is a circle. Okay. When we draw a cylinder on a flat surface, like our iPad or our sketchbook, we're not going to actually use a circle for the top and bottom. We're going to use this shape. See if you know its name. Ooh, do you know the name of this one? You might call this one an oval, but because you're in 4th or 5th grade now, we're going to call it by its super amazing scientific name, which is write this down, an ellipse. This is an ellipse. It's like a circle that someone stood on a little bit, and it's slightly like elongated. We call this an ellipse or an oval. It's just like a circle in that it is not pointed. It's still round, and the top and bottom edges and the side edges are curved. So now I want you to draw this thing in your sketchbook. Now, when you compare the two shapes, what do you notice is different about this one? You might be saying the edges are pointed. It looks like a football. It looks like a lemon. It looks like an eyeball. I want you to write this. No. This is not an ellipse, and the reason it's not an ellipse is for those things that you said. It's pointed, it has these little points or edges here, and an ellipse does not have that because an ellipse is like a squash circle and it is round. So also one more thing we're going to draw before we talk about how to make a perfect ellipse. I want you to draw a straight line and a straight line, and then connect the two. Well, that's looking a little bit better, but there's something about this one that is also a no. Do you know what it is? I hope you're talking about the top and the bottom of this shape are not curved lines. So we want to make sure that when we make our ellipses today, they are not circles, but they also don't have points or flat tops and bottoms. Those are not ellipses. Okay, let's talk about 3 ways to draw a perfect ellipse. So I'm going to go over here to my layers. If you're drawing with me, this is how I add more notes to my presentation. I'm just going to add a layer. Then I'm going to touch the eyeball right here on the layer I'm working on. So it's just going to delete that layer out for a little bit. Okay, here we go. On your paper, I want you to write method number 1. This is the first way that we can make a perfect ellipse. Okay, this one I give it a name. I call this one the frowny face, smiley face. Okay, so in your sketchbook, remember it doesn't have to be as big as mine, but you're going to draw something that looks like a frowny face. Now it's not a really curved frowny face, not like that. This is a no. Okay, it's just that real slight curve for the frowny face. Then I'm going to leave a little space and I'm going to make a smiley face. I'm trying to make that smiley face the same amount of curviness as the frowny face. You with me? Then how do you think I'm going to turn it into a perfect ellipse? I'm going to do that by connecting with a curved line the sides. Now it's okay if I go around that shape more than once, because that just helps give me that, helps me form the shape better. So method number 1 I call frowny face, smiley face, and then connect with that curved line. Okay, that's method 1. Let's do method 2. Are you taking these notes? I hope so. Method 2. All right, I'm going to write it up here. Method number 2. Method number 2 I call C backward C. So what that means is it's going to be like a C. Notice it's not really tight like that. And then there's a backward C. Uh-oh. Hopefully your C's are about the same. C and backward C. I'm going to try to make mine again. C and backward C looks like parentheses. And then what do you think I'm going to do? You got it. We're going to connect it. But here's what's important. Remember, we don't want to connect it with a straight line, because that's not what an ellipse looks like. So when I do that C, backward C, and then I'm going to make sure to continue to curve, even if it's just very slight, so that we have something that is an ellipse. Okay, so method number 2 is C, backward C. I'm actually just going to move this up a little bit and zoom in for our last method. Method number 3. Maybe I don't have enough room. All right, this method even has a name. Ready for its name? I'm going to write it out. I want you to write it. Read what I write. This method is called Go For It. What that means is I'm just going to use my pencil or my stylus, and I'm going to not hold it down at the tip. I'm going to kind of move my fingers up my pencil a little bit. I'm going to circle my pencil or my stylus in the air over the surface, kind of trying to make my fingers do the movement of what a perfect ellipse would be like. And once I feel like I've been doing that motion over the top of my iPad or my sketchbook, then I just start putting it on the paper. It's okay if the lines go across more than once. Try out the Go For It method, which is just putting your pencil onto the paper. Remember, checking to make sure it's not a circle and it doesn't have any points. All right, let me see which ones you think was your favorite method. Raise your hand if you liked method 1. Method 1 was frowny face, smiley face. How about if you liked method 2? C backwards C. How about method 3? Go for it. That seems to be kids' favorites. Okay, we're going to practice this a little bit. So here's what Mrs. Snyder wants you to do. Get a new screen or a new page of your sketchbook. Here is your job. Listen first, and then we'll draw it. You are going to make 3 perfect ellipses that are the same size and same shape, and they're stacked on top of each other. Here's what I mean. Watch me. So I'm going to try to make 3 perfect ellipses that are about the same size and same shape, and that are stacked on top of each other. Do that now. 3 perfect ellipses that are the same size and same shape, stacked on top of each other. Now that we have our 3 ellipses, now we can use our pencil, and you are going to draw a straight line that connects the widest point of each ellipse. Watch what I mean. So I'm going to make this straight line that connects all the way down. And on this side, straight line that connects all the way down. Did you make something that looks kind of like a cylinder? So it's sort of like a see-through cylinder right now. So what we've done is we've stacked up these ellipses just to help us get the form. And then if you were to use your eraser, you would erase the part, oh, why is mine not erasing? So all that would remain, let me just draw it here, is the top ellipse, the 2 straight sides. We see the bottom curve of this ellipse, and then it's imaginary. The other part we can't see is in the back. Okay, so we just added those ellipses to make them look kind of see-through. Okay, let's do another challenge. You ready? This time, I want you to draw 3 ellipses, but I want you to make them different sizes, but they're still going to be stacked up together. So I'm going to make a line down the middle to help me line up my ellipses. And I am going to make different sizes to my ellipses. So I'm going to make one that's maybe a little bigger, trying to make it equal down the middle of this line. Maybe one that's a little smaller. And then one that's, even smaller than that. It's totally cool if your ellipses are different, meaning that maybe you have a big one, and then a small one, and then a really big one. Whoops, it's not the best ellipse. Remember, perfect ellipses. Okay, if we need to pause that, we can, but now to create this cylinder shape, I'm going to connect the widest points of each ellipse with a straight line, just like before. Watch. This connects to here, and this connects to here. Ooh, I made a cool like funnel shape. Do you see it? Same with this one. Widest point to this ellipse, and then it comes out to this ellipse. Widest point of this ellipse, and out to this one. Ooh, I made like an hourglass. Your job right now, 4th or 5th graders, is to practice making a couple of these interesting, cool cylindrical shapes inside your sketchbook. You can even practice turning these objects on their side, or turning these ellipses and making them in different views. You can try to combine way more then 3 ellipses and see what kind of interesting shapes that you can create. So I want you to practice that now, and once your teacher feels like you've had enough practice, then we will be using this method of drawing with ellipses to make cylinders to explore our next activity where you will be an archaeologist.